Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we're going to talk about artifactual communication and color. Now, I'm sure all of you know that appearance, especially in our industry, it really makes a lot of difference. Okay. Now, a person's general appearance depends on a lot of things. Okay, lots of several things. Of the most important factors that contribute to appearance are grooming and personal hygiene. So, when we're talking about hygiene, we're talking about having a bath every day, care of skin, care of nails, care of feet, care of hair. Okay, they should be of expected standards. Now, a person who neglects these aspects basically makes a very unpleasant impression on others. So, like we say, first impression is the last impression, right? So, appearance is the first impression which we make, especially in front of our customers. So, lack of neatness, cleanliness, carelessness in grooming, clumsy hair, or clothes, this all makes a very negative impression on people. So, it is always important that we keep our appearance very neat, tidy, and healthy. Now, artifactual communication is one of the most integral part of the nonverbal communication. It basically includes the use of personal adornments such as clothing, jewelry, makeup, hairstyles. Okay, people are apt to make inferences about us based on the way we dress. Color also has a psychological effect, and pleasant, cool colors in workplace have good influence on others. Now, many of you mustn't be knowing, but clothing, okay, and the colors which we use also makes an impression on people. So now when we say impression on people, that does not mean that we are here to impress someone, not that way. But basically, there are certain colors which go when you have to go for an interview. For example, in an interview, okay, how are you supposed to be dressed in an interview? You should be wearing colors which are pleasant, which are cool colors, like blue, okay, like maybe uh, red, shades of red, but not bright red. Okay, maroon color. That's what I meant, or dark blue color. So why do we wear such colors? Or a cream color, not very white color, but cream color. So why? Because basically these are cool colors, and it affects the psychology of every person. So similarly, clothing is a very important aspect of body language. Okay, it basically requires good taste and also a very good judgment to make a impression by what you wear. Now, the color, design, the fit which we are, dressed, or the cut, as we say, yeah, to make up the dress is very important, especially during interviews. Now, in India, we have a lot of choice. Why? Because it is basically acceptable to wear clothing of any style. We can wear Indian style also, and we can wear Western style also, right? But it is extremely important that we dress according to the occasion, right? It's extremely important that we wear clothes which are appropriate for that particular function or for that particular occasion. Now, for example, if you are going for a um, formal maybe meeting or formal conference or maybe an interview for that matter, then the way you will dress will be very different from the way maybe you go to a discotheque or a party or a restaurant or a birthday anniversary of your friends, right? It will be very different. So it also depends on the time of the day. You have to choose the colors according to the time of the day. Then you have to also choose according to the season. Then, of course, according to the cultural background of the people who will be present around you, definitely makes a difference. And many organizations they keep a dress code. If you all know, okay, like even our industry, we have dress codes, we have uniforms. Why do we have uniforms? Because basically we are dealing with food, we are dealing with people, we are dealing with customers who are day in and day out we see them, they see us, we meet them, right? So that is why we have a certain uniform for the different departments. So as a general rule, you should avoid wearing patterned clothes, okay, especially on the upper half of the body, because why? You tend to look shorter, okay, always remember that. So those like those people who are short should always remember this, that you should never have any kinds of intricate patterns in the upper half of your clothing. Okay, then even the accessories which we use, okay, it always makes an impression on others. It creates a mood, right? So accessories means what? Accessories like your bow, your tie, footwear, jewelry, all this needs careful selection, and footwear especially should be very comfortable to wear. So the first thing, whatever clothes you wear, it should be comfortable, okay? And after that, of course, then you have to remember all the colors and everything. Even accessories like maybe a briefcase which you carry, or a handbag for girls, okay? This also can make an impression. Then whatever you carry on your person or in your handbag, it has to look comfortable and should be gracefully carried. Otherwise, it will convey a very poor image. So that is the reason why they say that cool colors, pleasant colors in workplace always has a good influence on co-workers. And that is the reason why you must be seeing that so many restaurants, the ambience, the uniform, the tablecloths, the tables, the chairs, everything is somewhat matching to each other. They are always in contrast. Why? Because the ambience which created will affect the mood of the customers who get into that restaurant. That is the reason why artifactual communication and color play an important role in our life. Okay. Then after that, like I said just now, these are the different colors which influence the communication also. For example, when you wear yellow, okay, or you see yellow, yellow cheers and elevates moods. Now, they say that yellow, when you look at yellow or red colors, you feel hungry also. And in fact, that is the reason why, if you see, KFC is red in color, then your McDonald's has red and yellow color. Yeah. So most of Pizza Hut is red in color. So if you see most of these restaurants, okay, you will always find yellow and red combination. Why is that? Because basically red excites and stimulates a person, okay, person psychologically, and yellow cheers and elevates the mood. And especially when we feel this kind of emotion, then we feel like being with friends, we feel like eating, and that is the reason why you will see that most of these restaurants have these colors. Okay. Now, next is blue. Blue comforts and suits, and that is the reason why mostly in interviews and in companies also, or even uniforms for that matter, many schools, colleges, they always have these blue color. Okay, because basically, whenever you look at the color blue, you feel relaxed or suits. Okay, it soothes you. Then white color in some cultures, white suggests mourning, and black color in some colors, black suggests purity. So different colors influence different people in different way. Okay, so for some, white stands for purity, whereas for some, black in some cultures, black suggests purity. So depending on the culture and also the person, okay, that the colors influence us. Now, if you all see psychologically also, they say that a lot of introverts, okay, those people who do not like to talk much, or are a little uh, into themselves only, like they're not extroverts like others. They generally go more towards darker colors, okay, darker hues of color combinations, whereas extroverts, they like brighter colors. They like yellow, they like orange, they like vibrant colors, because that reflects their personality. So even if you didn't know about it and today you got to know about it, just check, students. You will see that some of your friends who are very outspoken, very extroverts who are very, very friendly, outgoing. They will always like vibrant colors. There are some of your friends who are a little shy and they like to be within themselves only. They prefer darker colors. Okay, so this is what basically the psychology of color influences the communication. Then after that, we come to proxemics. You can hear me, students?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. After that, we come to proxemics. Now, when we're talking about proxemics and communication, this is basically the communication through space, time, and distance factors, or even energy. Okay. When we're talking about energy or enthusiasm as an aspect of body language, okay, very hard actually to describe, but I'm sure most people have experienced this. Yeah, the impact of a person with high level of energy and an impact of a person with low energy. Has anybody experienced that? When we're talking about energy, they say that there is some kind of a aura or energy around all of us. Do you all believe in that? Even science says that actually. Have you ever heard, students, that there is some kind of an energy which is surrounding all of us? And that is the reason why I'm sure even some of you feel that, oh, I get along with this person so well, but when I see somebody, I don't like her or I don't like him. Have you all gone through that ever?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. So what is that? What is that? What is that energy? Okay, this is what is the positive or a negative energy which is around or surrounding a person. Okay, so some will impress with high level of physical energy, okay, which is almost infectious. Like some of your friends, they must be so like they'll call you and they'll say, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that, right? And it's almost like their personality is very infectious, right? Some have a very high intellectual or emotional or maybe even spiritual energy, right? And some of them might be very low energy. Maybe they're, every time you meet those friends, they're always, complaining about something or the other. So definitely you can feel that positive and negative energy surrounding someone, right? So whatever the source is, energy conveys some kind of competence. Okay, it inspires some kind of respect, right? So, state of physical and mental health, it plays a very very large part in body language also. So, for example, a healthy person is generally energetic and maintains a certain level of enthusiasm and work. Okay, a person's enthusiasm always is reflected in the style. It is usually infectious and makes people around him also feel very enthusiastic, right? So, when we're talking about energy, then the next comes the space. Now, what is space? When we're talking about space in communication, we're talking about the distance we maintain from others. Okay, the specific social rules about how close we can go to others in particular situations. This is called as the comfort zone. Yeah. So Edward Hall says that there are four different distances that we keep between ourselves and other people. Okay, so the first distance we keep from other generally while speaking. Okay, when we are talking about the distance we keep from other person is while speaking. It is generally, it indicates with the relationship you have with your people. Okay, the people around you. So we keep a longer distance from a slight acquaintance and get closer to persons with a closer relationship. So, like for example, we maintain a respectful distance from and allow more personal space to our superiors, right? So, here, for example, intimate distance 0 to 18 inches would be somebody very, very close to you, right? Your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, etc. Then, when we are talking about personal distance, it is 18 to 4 feet. So, that is your family, your friends, okay, close people. So, that is the distance you keep away from. Then, the social distance, it is from 4 to 12 feet. And of course, public distance, is basically just to hear and see that is about 12 feet to the limit of sight. So the way people structure the space around them also, of course, conveys some kind of meaning. Okay, for example, a manager can use a space, say, to create an impression of status. Yeah, so because the manager wants personal space, what he does is he creates a cabin, right? He creates a separate space for himself. Yeah, so a spacious office, a large office desk, maybe he has a large car. Yeah, what does that suggest? That suggests some kind of a important position of that person, right? So efficient use of space without creating any kind of clutter generally generates a sense of orderliness, right? So when we are talking about space, this is the communication space we keep between each and every person depending on the relationship of that person with us. Then next, when we come to time and distinct factors, how we use our time is very, very important. Okay, so our use of time is an even more, say you can say very slowly, subtly, it becomes a non-verbal factor in communication. Now, for example, the time we give to listen to people or to speak to some people. Okay, what does this do? This will create a sense of self-esteem in them, right? It is equated with care. It is equated with concern, right? So if we give time to those people, yeah, for example, maybe a lot of your parents must be complaining that you don't talk to us only. Nowadays you are within you're on your phone all the time. You are on your phone, you hardly speak to us, right? So that is basically the communication time you ought to give to your parents, right? So on the other hand, a person who uses maybe one's own time, right, and other people's time, uh, whether wastefully or in a proper manner, that is also the time. Okay, in communications we are talking about. Why? Because it creates an impression of being inefficient and disorganized if you don't use time efficiently, right? So, when we're talking about time in communication, we are talking about the sense of timing. In, for example, in conducting meetings, in conducting conferences, in conveying some kind of good news or bad news, uh, time in making a presentation only, for example. Okay, so taking only 20 minutes of time for a presentation, not taking more. So basically, being on time, being punctual, this all is related to communication. Why? Because the people who use their time successfully, for them, giving respect, okay, and it also generates goodwill, right, about a person. It shows what kind of a person he or she is. So that is the reason why when we're talking about proxemics, we're talking about the time factor in communication. Okay. um, then we come to chronemics, which is again the study of time. Yeah. Here, but when we are talking about chronemics, we're talking about the management of time. So, how you manage your time. Now, I always say that everybody gets only 24 hours. Nobody gets one, even 1 second more or 1 second less, right? So, when we're talking about being professional, what is the meaning of being professional? Optimum utilization of time is possible if you plan your activities with meticulous attention to details and execute the plan with proper discipline within the time frame expected by you. So always remember that keeping to the schedule is an important quality of a professional. So when we say that we are in a professional course, we are doing a professional course like hotel management, and time is extremely important to us hoteliers. Okay, this is when we say we have to be very punctual. And right now, I get this good opportunity of telling this batch one that none of you, except a few, three or four, I think, no, I would say about 10 or 12 of you were here exactly at 2:15. I don't know the reasons because I'm sure you had a break from 1:30 to 2:15, right? You had a break, right, students? You had a break.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But still, students in this batch come late. I don't know why. I don't have that problem with batch 2. I'm teaching both of you, okay? But I have a big problem with batch 1. See, still there are students who are trying to enter, but I'm not going to take them. Because the first thing about hotel management learning, first thing is time management. And I don't want any reasons from anybody. Because like I said just now, 24 hours everybody gets. If you are attending 3 lectures back to back, students, I have been teaching since 11 this morning, continuously. My last lecture got over at 1:45. You can ask your friends. You can ask your batch too. And after 1:45, I'm taking your class now. And what you have to do, students, in online or offline also, you have to just sit and listen to us. And still you are not on time. We have to talk, we have to make PPTs, we have to teach you, and we are on time. Why? Why is it like that? The first thing, the first impression, okay, students, be it a customer, be it an interviewer, be it anybody, okay, is time management. I can give you my own example. As a manager, I have not taken students who are candidates who have come late. However good they must be, I don't care. If they cannot manage their time, they cannot manage life. That is what my motto is. Are you getting me, students? So next time I take a communication class, I want all of you to be on time. I've already started not taking students in the group after they come. I can still understand. Now, don't. Who was that? Being a professional, you have to be punctual. That is the first thing about hotel management. Remember that, students. Okay. Anyway, let's go to paralanguage. So the next is paralanguage. The non-verbal aspects of the spoken word are known as paralanguage. It includes the qualities of the voice, the way we use our voice, as well as its sounds, the way we make without uttering words. By becoming aware, we can control and make use of paralanguage. When we talk about paralanguage, we're talking about the non-verbal aspects of the spoken word. So, like I said, in body language, almost 30% is your voice, right? So, whenever you are talking giving a presentation, you are discussing in a group, in group discussions, when you are giving an extemporary, okay, if you have any kind of team debates, etc., that time you have to use your voice. So how you will use your voice, okay, depends on the paralanguage. Now, what is paralanguage? Basically, paralanguage is voice has characteristics, right? So voice, tone, volume, pitch, inflection, speed, accent, all these are some of the characteristics. So, what is volume? Volume is the loudness or the softness which can be consciously adjusted to the number of persons in the audience, right? And also the distance, okay? The distance between the speaker and the audience. So, volume can be adjusted. So, if you have a audience, um, a large audience, say you have about 60 people in a room, right? Then, of course, your volume has to be louder. Otherwise, they will not be able to, nobody will be able to listen to you. That only if you have a audience of only about 10 to 15, then your volume doesn't have to be very loud because everybody will be able to listen to you, right? So that is the volume. Then when we are talking about the pitch, can anybody tell me what is the meaning of pitch in a voice? What is the meaning of pitch?
The level of voice, how loud and how soft the voice is.
Right. So basically, when we are talking about pitch, it is the high or low note, okay, on the scale. Yeah. So, for example, a high-pitched voice is often very unpleasant, and mostly it is interpreted as it is suggests that it is immature or somebody who has an emotional disturbance. Okay, those people have a very high-pitched voice. So, like high-pitched voice could be like very shrilly kind of a voice. Okay, then a frightened person, for example, will always speak in a very high-pitched tone. Hmm? So it is always better to begin softly in a low pitch and then slowly raise your volume and pitch as required. So that is how your volume should increase. Then speed. What is speed? Basically, speed is a factor of speech. So whenever somebody is speaking, when we say a person's voice speed is very fast or very slow, okay, rapid speech means it indicates like excitement. Yeah, we increase our speed of speaking. For example, to tell an interesting story. Yeah, or we reduce our speed to explain a difficult idea. So this is basically the speed in which we speak. Then pronunciation. Pronunciation means the accepted standard of the way in which a word is said. Yeah. So it's very, very important in communication that your pronunciation has to be correct and very clear. What does that indicate? That the speaker is very careful and has consideration for the audience. Okay. Next, accent. Accent is the way a person pronounces the sounds of the language. Okay, so for example, every language has its own accent or a way of forming, yeah, the sounds. Now, many of us, we have an when we go abroad, the people foreigners say that you have an Indian accent. Now, why do they say that we have an Indian accent? Because most of our mother tongue, okay, everybody's mother tongue is different, right? And our mother tongue is in such a way that most of the Indian languages we stress the words. Yeah, we have very clear speech. We have, in fact, the clearest speech, Indians. Okay, so because we have a very clear speech, again, depending on people from the south, people from the north, people from the east, and people from the west, we have different accents, and then again, the different accents which are formed when you go to different schools, right? So depending on how your teachers maybe spoke to you or taught you, those are the different accents also which we have. So a good accent in a new language is always learned by listening to the native speakers of that particular language. For example, um, say somebody already in this group knows how to speak German or French, but when they go to Germany, okay, or they go to France, even if you know very good German or French, it won't. The accent will not be the same as the French people or the German people, right? They'll be different. So that is what I'm trying to tell you about the accent. Okay, so imitating American, British, German accent, it does not create a good impression nowadays because of this. All these media, okay, social media, I see, especially the younger generation, they think that if they go to Britain for 1 month and they come back, they can have an accent. It's not possible, students, okay? To get an accent in that particular country, you have to be born there, okay? You cannot go there for 2 years and 3 years and get an accent. I can still understand that somebody who lives there for 25 years and 30 years, they get accent of certain words. Okay, for example, say somebody went to America, an Indian went and stayed there for 25 to 30 years. So some few words they can speak, they must be speaking in that accent, American accent or British accent. But a person who goes from India and stays there for 20, 25 years, who speaks absolutely in, like born in America, then that person is faking. Okay, those people fake. Remember that. So another very important characteristic I have not mentioned here in paralanguage is intonation. Okay, I don't know whether you all have heard of this intonation. Now, what is intonation? Any idea? What is the meaning of intonation? Yes. Yes, students.
No, ma'am, we don't know about it.
Nobody knows? Okay. Intonation is basically the sound pattern of sentences. Okay. What is the sound pattern of sentences? Means like accent, okay. Each language has its intonation, and we carry our mother tongue intonation to a new language we learn. So very good example I can give you is, if say you speak Tamil, okay, somebody speaks Tamil, so even if that Tamil boy or girl goes to a convent, okay, convent school, and has learned a typical uh, proper English accent, still they will carry that intonation of the Tamil accent in that. A little bit, not too much, but a little bit of that intonation or the accent. Okay, intonation and accent go side by side. They are similar. So basically, intonation is something like an accent which you carry because of your mother tongue. Okay, in the different languages you speak. So not only English, it could be Marathi also. Say a Tamilian who has been born and brought up in Pune, okay, and speaks in Marathi, okay, they could, and they speak Tamil at home. Then they could have that little bit of accent, okay. Like me, I can give you my own example. Now, although I speak in Marathi very quite frequently, but a lot of Maharashtrians do understand by my accent that I'm not a born Maharashtrian. Okay, so that is what I mean. So that little bit of intonation is always there of your own mother tongue when you don't speak that language very fluently. So that is also one of the characteristic in paralanguage. Okay. Any questions, anyone? And stop doing meow and boo boo here, students. Huh? Yes. Any questions, anyone? Okay. We'll go to the last slide, which is what are the barriers in non-verbal communication. Basically, the barriers are very limited in non-verbal communication. But for example, flashing or rolling of eyes, quick or slow movements, okay, in bodily movements we mean. Arms crossed, legs crossed, like I said, is not good. It should always be open position. Gestures made with exasperation or irritation. Slouching and hunching over shows that you don't have that much confidence. Poor personal care, that is poor hygienic care. Then any kind of cultural barriers involving gestures, like I told you all about the gestures. And staring at people or avoiding eye contact can also show be a barrier. Excessive fidgeting with materials, for example, excessive fidgeting with a pen in a conference or a meeting. Okay, so if you're going to keep on fidgeting with your pen, that means you are getting very, um, you are very uncertain and you are very irritated. You want the meeting to get over very fast. Or pointing fingers also can be a barrier in some cultures. Now, see, now this one symbol in United States, it means good job. In Germany, it means number one. Okay. In Japan, it is number five because they count when they're counting. Okay. In Germany, they start with the thumb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Japanese people, they count it opposite. So they start with their little finger and they count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5. Okay. In Ghana, this is an insult. In Malaysia, this thumb is used to point rather than a finger. So just imagine this one expression or one gesture, okay, can mean so many things in so many other countries. Okay, any questions, anybody?
And like you said, like it changes, the symbols changes from country to country or continent to continent. How should we learn about those when we go abroad?
Yeah, so like I said to you that when you go abroad now, if you go on your own, then of course Google auntie is there to talk to you. So you have to just Google the stuff there, okay? But if you are going through a company, okay, say now in hotel management, I can say you're going through a hotel. If you're getting posted somewhere, or you get a transfer somewhere, or in the cruise line, for example, okay, what they do is they give you training. They give you a small workshop is there, 15 days, 10 days, depending on the company, and they give you training, or they at least ask you to, look for these things on Google before you leave for that particular country. Okay, so most of the cruise lines, airlines, hotels also, they give training to their staff. But if you go on your own, then you'll have to just Google it and see. Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you. Merci.
Yes, students.
Nothing.
So you have understood. Your silence tells me that you all have understood
I have not understood anything.
either, or you all are sleeping.
Well, not sleeping. I understood.
Okay. Now, I would like to ask few students to wait after class. One of them is Saurav Kate. Are you there? Kate. Saurav Kate, are you there?
Saurav Kate.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Please wait after the class is over. Then roll number 4, Atar Afraj. Are you there? Roll number 4. Are you there? Roll number 4 is not there.
No, ma'am.
He's not there. Okay. Then 11. Roll number 11 is there. Pooja Borke. No. Then roll number 51. 52. 53.
Present.
None of them are there. Okay. Then 56. 57. 56, 57. No. 63. Okay. 68. Okay, none of them are there. Okay, give me your attendance, students. Roll number